English language is incomplete without proverbs. Welcome and greetings of the day. Today we are going to talk in English and use some very essential proverbs. Let me tell you a little story and become a raconteur for you. In this story, we are going to talk about a crab. You know crab, kekra? So this crab wanted to become the best of both worlds. He wanted to become very special so that he can really look into the eye. We call that see eye to the biggest class people. He had an aspiration. He wanted to get married to a female crab who could walk straight. Do you know how crabs walk? They walk sideways. He wanted to marry a female crab who could walk straight. And the minute you speak of the devil, here this man has come with a devil idea. And he says that this incident can only happen once in a blue moon. It cannot happen regularly. It cannot happen every day. That you could think of, you could just madly think of a crab, a female crab, a good, very pretty female crab who could walk straight, right? He thought it's a piece of a cake for him. He thought it's an easy job to find a female crab who could walk straight. But that's not easy. Anyways, he knew that he is going to become old very soon, so he wanted to do a stitch in time before it gets very late. This was the time that he has to think about marriage. He started looking for a lot of female crabs, but every crab walked sideways because crabs only walk sideways. He could not find any crab that could suit or match his need. Now he wanted the cat to come out of the bag. He ultimately wanted to reveal the secret that this is his aspiration, so he published it in the newspaper. That I am looking for a female crab who walks straight and I'm going to give any amount of money to that crab. Well, his aspiration, whether it was fulfilled or not, let's hear that out. He wanted to hit the nail right in the center. That means he wanted to hit the target right on the spot. When you try to hit the target right on the spot, that directly means he really, really wanted to marry that one girl, that one female crab girl who would walk straight. Ultimately, what happened? He could not come across anybody. He started boozing. He started taking liquor. And he started consuming liquor with his besties, with his best friends, in the hope that maybe they are going to propose him one female crab who would walk straight. Any which ways, this time he was man to man and he was actually talking to everybody. Man to man is at equal level. He started making new friends. He started talking to everybody and he started sharing his view that, okay, this is what he finally wants. Well, one fine day after taking liquor out of the bar, he came across somebody, right, who was walking straight, and he was so pleased to see that female crab who was walking straight. He simply went on to her and asked her hand for marriage. He simply proposed her, saying, look, crab, I love you. I just met you. It's like love at first sight, and I want to get married to you. But that female crab was hand to mouth. That means she was absolutely poor. Whatever she earned, it was just enough to sustain her life. She was absolutely hand to mouth. She did not have any extra income. So she was not sure if this male crab is ever going to marry her or not. Let's hear it out. Of course, such things can only happen, like a crab can only come across a straight walking crab when pigs can fly. And we all know pigs don't fly. That means it is like a dream come true for him. So he said, forget about money. I will take care of everything. I will even look after your family. You just say yes to the marriage. And he could not wait even for a single extra minute. So he got married that very night. He and the female crab now were at home, and he thought that he has killed two birds with one stone. One, he could get married to his dream girl, and second, because the dream girl was poor, he would always have, very easy. He started to feel that it's going to be easy for me to conquer her. Why? Because she would always be dependent on him. So he always thought कि एक तीर से दो निशाने लगा दिए हैं. He thought that he has killed two birds with one stone. Well, now what happened after the golden night, when in the morning he woke up, he just wanted to take tea. You know, like we Indians also take a lot of tea. And we all get kick in the morning when we get a cup of tea. Especially after marriage, we want tea from our beloved, our wife. And after golden night, you would want your wife to serve you with a hot cup of tea. So he said, hey, Janu, can you get me tea? Now this Janu crab stood up and started walking towards the kitchen to do that tea thing for this buddy. But you know what? He shouted and he screamed, why are you walking like this? Why are you walking like this? Female crab said, I always walked like this. He said, no, last night you walked straight. She said, no, even last night I walked sideways. He said, I saw you walk straight. You know what did he see? He was toxic. He was tipsy. Tipsy means he was completely drunk. And in that impression of drink, he thought that she was walking straight, but she never walked straight. So ultimately, in life, you should keep some realistic dreams and you should work for them. Because if you don't take pains, you will ultimately not get any gain. In this story, we learned a lesson that it is very difficult to get a blessing in the disguise. That means suddenly you will find treasure, from the earth come out for you. That does not happen. So even this would not happen for the most dynamic crab. This would not happen. He would never be able to find a female crab who would walk straight because his dream was not realistic. Well, in today's story, we use a lot of proverbs from our everyday life. And this became a very good motive for me to teach you English in a way that proverbs can really help us fill our language. This story did not need any of the proverbs. But if you have a proverb, the value gets created. You really start sounding so special if you really make use of these proverbs. And a man who speaks language with proverbs, whether it is Hindi also, if you use a lot of muhavare, kahavate, then your Hindi also gets a lot of value, a lot of weight. In the same way, if you speak English using proverbs, your life is going to be miraculously simple. Let's touch one more proverb. Let me call it a day. Call it a day means let me close the session over here. Well, the task for you is also to narrate one of the parable, P-A-R-A-B-L-E. Parable means a moral story. I also told you a moral story. You also have to write a moral story. And you have to use these 15 proverbs in that story so that your story does not lose any track and you are able to make use of these proverbs absolutely diligently. All the very best for your assignment, and I will meet you on the other side in the next video.